Om Shanti. So we can start with just a few thoughts to bring us into the awareness of time. The awareness that time is one of the most beautiful, powerful, and rich resource that I have. Because we say sometimes that we have time. But actually it's not that either we have or we don't. It's a matter of how I entertain a relationship with time. How time sometimes becomes a mirror, a reflection of the self. Because time brings joy, and it also brings sorrow. It brings victory and defeat. And when I learn to dance with time, I see the beauty of time. That time is never wrong. Time is always on time. I may be off, or I may be unaligned, but time is a great master. And time is a great teacher. And yet time also allows me to become the master and the teacher. Time is what I want it to be. And when my awareness, my consciousness shines in the light, time responds, and it comes to me with a gift. It opens up and shows me the eternal self. The self that shines in the light which is beyond time. And when the soul awakens to its eternity, it becomes the master. And time bows in front of the master. Om Shanti, good evening. Welcome. Nice to see you again. It was time that brings us here, right? We fixed a time, and now the time has come. I think I've met everyone before. My name is Eric, and this is the third adventure in the exploration of our relationship with time. And I was reflecting on it a bit earlier, thinking that it's not a very, common topic to talk about or to reflect upon. And I don't know, people want money, happiness, all kind of things. Sometimes they want time also. They want to spend time, they want to buy time. But it's not like we feel we can really change time a lot. We just feel most of the time we're running after time. And we're kind of trying to dance with it, but spinning in all different directions. And it seems sometimes maybe we don't have any say on time. It's just something we can't control, isn't it? And yet, time has one beautiful magic, and it's that it expands or it shrinks. It opens up or it closes itself. And we can really feel sometimes how the relationship with time is one that is quite spiritual. It's really a spiritual dimension. It's a very physical dimension when we are not aligned with time. You feel stressed, you feel you're running around, you're feeling you're, chasing after time, or we're kind of not having enough time. Do you feel that? When you don't have enough time to do something or to be somewhere or to... I was checking again the traffic jams at the moment and how suddenly you're planning to go somewhere and then you're stopped because of a roadblock. And suddenly time drips and, slips from your hands, and then you suddenly feel, oh, I'm late. Oops, it's not the time I wanted. And so we're kind of sometimes really having a hard time dancing with time or managing time. And if you reflected upon a little bit what we looked at the last 2 weeks, it's very simple. Looking at the past, and then last week looking at the present, and tonight looking at the future. And I'm wondering, which one do you find the most exciting? Which one do you like the most? The past, the present, or the future? Le présent? Present? Yeah? Each one has their own speciality, right? You can't say you don't like one or the other. I mean, past might be a little bit, different to play with, but there is one thing about the present, is that it's the shortest, right? Present is just a second. When you think about it, the present is really just a very, very, very short space of energy and awareness, which is now. But what's going to happen in 5 minutes from now is already, it's just the future. It's not happened yet. So we have time before what will happen in 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes. Or what will happen in 3 years, and we have 3 years. And what will happen in 10 years, and we have 10 years. So future is expansible, I would say, or, we can stretch. You don't know how long the future is in front of us. In this body, in this life, we know how long was the past. So we measure the past. We know the present is a second. But the future, we have no idea. Could be, hopefully, more than a minute, and more than a year, and more than 10 years. But we don't know how long will be the future. And so our relationship with the future is very different. If you are saying, if you are told, okay, guests are coming. Yeah, people will come for dinner. What would be your first question? How many are coming? And imagine you have no idea how many are coming for dinner. Could be 1, could be 100, could be 1,000. So how do you prepare if you don't know? But if you are asked how many came last week for dinner, that you know. Simple ideas. but shows us how we connect with time, because they're each with their own personality. And the reason why we wanted to take some time to look at those aspects of time, past, present, future, is because the feeling on a spiritual level is that if I'm okay with the three aspects of time, I can really handle my own flow of living. If I have no issues with the past, if I'm strong in the present, and if I have a very good relationship with the future, I'm flowing, or I'm going through, I'm moving through. If I have resistances with the past, problems with the present, and deep uncertainties about the future, I think I'm in trouble. I'm not moving smoothly through time, and time is not my friend. I don't connect well with time, and I think most people don't connect well with time. We have agendas, we have appointments, we have reminders, we have birthdays, we have many different marks to try to make us fit in time. But really, the flow through time is not as smooth as it could be. And on top of that, for the yogi, for the spiritual person, one of the interests that the yogi has is to go beyond time. It's to experience the timelessness of the soul, the eternity of the soul. So for that you have to be really in good terms with time, so that time can leave you alone for a few minutes and allow you to enjoy your eternal being. So they may seem a little bit metaphorical ideas, but actually they're very, very practical. And the beauty of future is, to me, it's probably one of the most exciting, because it's the most, promising of the three. Past is already done. What can you do? You can work on it a lot. You can do a few things about it in terms of the residues. You can clean up the effects of the past. You can play with the leftovers of the past. The present, well, you're in it, so this is what it is. It's just as soon as you try to touch it, it's already in the past. So it's kind of a very, I'd call it intangible being. As soon as you touch it, it disappears. So it's different. But the future can hold so many things, right? And I was thinking that the future, we enter the future with two dynamics. And it's really one about what will I do, and the other one, what will I be, and who will I be. And one is driven by intentions, motivations, objectives, clear application of what I want to do in the future. And there are specific forces that are useful to master if I want to make the future good. If I don't have enthusiasm, if I don't have motivation, if I don't have an objective, what kind of future would it be? It would be very unmanageable, or it would be very uncertain. It would be very unpredictable. It would be a future that can bring a lot of surprises. But if you have a clear aim, objectives, motivation, intentions, planning, studying, if you're preparing for the future, already they say, if you come prepared, you're a little bit better off than if you come non-prepared. And on the other hand, the future is totally unrevealed and allows the possibility for dreaming, hoping, expecting, invoking, seeing, having visions, isn't it? There's an open bar, I would say, almost. It's an open, we don't drink, but it's an open, what do you call it, an open store with heavy goods available. It's just like, what are we creating? And the future, I thought I was saying something. The future is also free to be designed in the artistic board of the mind. It has also an application with the engineer who is already drafting and creating and constructing in the future. But the artistic mind can really go as wild as he wants, isn't it? You know, what stops us from something in the future? Hello. Hi, Cinema. What stops us from, creating something for the future? I don't know about you, but one type of books I really, really like, usually it's biographies. And it's always fascinating to look at the life of course, you don't look at the biography of Boring Light, right? Sorry to say, but you don't read a biography of somebody who has nothing to live or to go through, which is exciting. Although everybody may turn their life into something exciting to tell, but some lives are really fascinating. And then you wonder how they reached that way of doing or being. And biographies tells you a lot about how there's a beginning and then there's a middle and an end. And many biographies have a very tragic beginning, a glorious between, and a tragic end. So these are big stories usually. You want them to have a glorious end, but sometimes they don't. And one thing I noticed is that many people who go really high in life had a thought at some point in their life that this is what they will be. Most people, they have a dream, isn't it? They think, and then one day they have a thought. Maybe I'll be number one in the world in that particular thing. Maybe one day I'll go in space and I'll travel and I'll go to another planet. They have that thought and dream and vision. And very often this is what will drive them to be who they will be in the future. So, very famous quote, right? I had a dream, and without dreams, it didn't happen. And sometimes with a dream, the dream doesn't happen either, but at least there's a dream, there's a will, there's a drive, there's a force. So if we don't have force to go into the future, how are we entering the future? Isn't it? What do you think is your driving force to go into the future? Do you have a lot of gas? And is your tank full and you feel, oh, I'm okay for a while? Or are you searching for a gas station already? Thinking I need to fill up quickly because I'm not going to last long just like that. How bright is the future? How exciting is the future? It's a living thing. If we look at the personality of the past, of the present, of the future, each one has their own speciality and their own personality. The past has a lot to reflect upon, to be melancholic about, to contemplate, to memorize, to put in photo albums, to classify, to... The relationship we have with the past is very, very particular. It's very different from the relationship we have with the present. The present is really, as we say, it's a present. It comes to you as a gift. It just comes, and then what can you do? You can't do anything. It's already too late. It's there right now. So you're just, kind of facing the present as best as you can. But the future is a mystery. And it has a very, very mysterious aspect to it. And it's on the making. And any thought can suddenly change the future. Doesn't it? You don't seem excited about the future. I don't know. I don't see a lot of excitement here about the future. Are you having enough to cope with the present and the past that you... I'm not even... Oh my goodness, don't even make me think about the future. I'm just trying to survive in the present.
Yeah, I agree that the future is exciting, but if we keep thinking about the future, we forget to live the present. I think that we say that most of people, they regret the past, they don't really live the present, and they are scared about the future. So they miss out.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the question being, or the thought being, that if we think too much about the future, we might miss the present. It's true. But maybe the approach that we have on a spiritual journey is to have a balance between the three. And it's to learn how to maneuver in those three forces of time. So it's true, if we think too much about the future or too much about the past, we miss the present. And as I mentioned last time or so, if I'm only concerned about the present, I'm really missing my appointment for the future. I might be missing, if the farmer just says, well, I'm just enjoying my corn today, it's beautiful corn, you might have to think about planting new seeds because you'll need more corns next year. So I think it's a dance. That's why for me I really like this idea of dancing with time. It's a tango dance with time. It's a beautiful dance. And in our philosophy we have a word which is beautiful, and it's called being Trikalarshi, which means in Hindi, the one who can see the three aspects of time. And we're told very often that if you really want to reach your destination, you have to understand the three aspects of time. You have to understand where you come from, where you are, and where you're going. This is a very basic concept. You have to learn to walk, and you have to pay attention how you're walking now, but you also have to pay attention where you're going. So you have to have an objective and destination. Otherwise, if you're just saying, well, I'm just concerned about the now, I'm just walking. Okay, where are you going? Oh, it's not important, I'm just walking. Enjoy. Have a long walk and you don't know where you'll end up, which is good too. Some are doing that, I think, in life. Just live like that. So the beauty of the three, and I think the first week what we looked at is the richness of the past and how to reorganize the past in our head so we are at peace with the past. And the thought was that if there are, and I won't go back again to the whole discussion about the past, but the thought was, if there are dark spots from the past, if there are painful moments, painful memories, we have to clean them up. We have to do something with it. You can't just deny and ignore and leave, traces of sorrow and pain in the past and just say, okay, I'm focusing on present and future and this is going to go away. And we felt, no, there's maybe some work to do. And we have to, I believe we have to work on sorting out the past. I was sharing with a friend recently at work that, she was expressing how, for strange reason, she had to be in a hospital with her daughter. And the daughter was having problem, and when the doctor tell you, okay, you have to bring your daughter, we found something in the blood and we want to make some test. Okay, and when should I come? Tomorrow you come. If you're a parent and you're told you come tomorrow with your daughter, you are not really, comfortable. And strangely enough, at the same time, her father was in hospital and in a critical condition. And because her daughter had an issue with blood and white cells, which means very vulnerable with the immune system, when she went to see her dad wanted to kiss her. But she didn't want to explain everything to the dad about, I'm not going to kiss you, you're in a hospital, I don't know what you have, and I don't want, I'm caring for my daughter. As much as I love you and I want to kiss you, but I'm paying attention because I'm going to the room to see my daughter in a second, and you don't want to carry anything. And so in a way, she was just showing how this very simple little moment happened, that she kind of gently refused the kiss on the father, and she felt that the father was, but, oh, what's wrong with you? And so she went to see the daughter, but in the meantime, her father had a stroke. And so she could never come back again. He could never gain awareness afterwards. So the last time that she met her father was by refusing a kiss. Which is not, in one head could be a small thing. But if you talk about it a month later, it means that it's still leaving an imprint. And it's still something that is suddenly, from a very recent past, starting to germinate something not good. And I was sharing with her, I said, we believe in spirituality. It's still fresh enough, and even if it was 10 years old, that memory, you can create. And we work in television, so I was telling her, you should go in editing suite. You should go in the editing suite and redo the end of that little scene and replay that scene with special effects and change that scene and live that scene in meditation many times, where you visualize yourself giving, embracing your dad, and visualize the feeling, feel that experience. Allow that scene to happen in your mind again and again until it starts to become real. And the thought was, in my opinion, a soul can catch the thought from another soul, even if we don't say a word. And it's been proved in a scientific level that thoughts impact matter. We know that just thinking about water affects the water. It's been shown on a scientific level. The quality of my thoughts affect the matter. So they've been making even experiments where people are sick, and then other people will pray for them or visualize their healing, and they will not do that for other people. And they proved that there is an impact from the thoughts. So I was telling her, if you just replay that scene and change it, you'll avoid allowing that moment of the past to turn into something, a little, how to call it in English, when you have a something in the skin, in a shard, and a little piece of wood in your splinter. Splinter. You're my teacher in so many languages. Wonderful. So, you don't want to keep living with that little splinter, right? You want to remove it. So anyway, that's just to show you how the relationship with the past is something so unique. And we were sharing also how we can have the ability to recollect good moments from the past and to give them their trophies and their Oscars and their, shine the light on the past, where those moments really make the difference. In our tradition, we celebrate birthdays of people who passed away. And when we meet our elders, one thing we ask them most of the time is, tell me stories of your past. How was it in the old days? And then they go, well, in my time. And they go on with the stories. And then we smile, and then you like those stories. And they highlight values, they highlight greatness of the soul, which is in the past, but which is worth nurturing, so that it connects also with the present and the future. So just to go back a little bit on that aspect, it shows how the past is such a dimension that calls upon certain thoughts at the right time, not all the time of course, but sometimes it's good to reflect on it and pay attention to it. And of course the present is such a living game. The present is where it happens. So the present is the most living one, the most real one, the one that is a real trick of time. And you have to perform. Present is to perform. Past, you reflect upon it, and future, you're planning it. But present, you perform. And this is where the moment of truth, I say time, the present is the moment of truth, is when you are revealed. Either you manage, you don't, you smile, you cry, you say hello, you say goodbye. Time in the present is so wonderful. And you have to be quick, because time plays tricks. So present is like, I have to perform, I have to seize the moment, the ball in the air, and I have to return. And if, they always joke and they say, if a ball comes to you, you shouldn't start complaining, say, who threw the ball at me? And why did you choose me? And why the ball? And why is this ball yellow and not pink? And say, you didn't understand. Just throw it back. That's the game. As soon as the ball is thrown at you, the point is, throw it back. Just do something, or hit a score, or do something. But don't just complain about the ball. Just imagine a football player who received the ball and says, why you did it throw to me? And then, you paid for it. Score, do something. So that's the present. The present is a firework of wonders, and we have to be quick. We have to handle it. We have to know what to do with the present. Sometimes the present says, shh, so you stay still, you wait. Sometimes the present says, run, you run. What can you do? Present is present, and it's beautiful. And that's why we say present should be a present, should be a gift all the time. Past is then the past. But the future should design your future, or your future will design your future. So past is past, present is a present, and the future can be seen on your feature, your face. So we design the future. And to me, the future has one extremely exciting ingredient, which is the potential. The fact that, if you play 649, I think most people kind of have the great joy of being millionaire when they buy the ticket. They never become millionaire, but they are millionaire when they buy it, isn't it? Because when they buy it, oh my goodness, 2 million, that would be so great. So they're very excited. The idea of becoming millionaire, only one out of, I don't know how many millions do become millionaire. But the fact of dreaming about it or thinking it might happen, just that is already great. And so for me, the future is sometimes a burden to carry because it expects from me to build it, which is a little bit the hard time or the hard thing about the future. Is that if you say, okay, I want to be an engineer, well, the future will say, yeah, but you have to study for it and you have to make it happen. I'm not going to become an engineer just like that. You have to do it. So the future calls the present and says, now you're doing something about me because I'm being called not to be an engineer. So you present, you have to do something now. So there's a burden from the future. But at the same time, the future offers all the possibilities. And it's never yet too late. Because it's still not happened. It's still going to happen. And so until it happens, there's a margin to affect what's going to happen. Certain things in the future are already fixed. That's a little trick about the future. Some things already are planned to come in the future. And we say you can't change much about it. It's too strong. The ball has been hit in the past, and it's coming full speed. And the time of effect of the past is just about to happen soon. And there's not enough time anymore to change it. So that's when we understand time to be a destiny, to be a fatality, and to be a big test where it happens and there was no possibility to change it. And then we have to face time. So there's that also in the future. But we know it in advance. We know that there will be things in the future that with all the best intentions in the world, I may not be able to change now. I can change certain things, but certain things I may not be able to change. The planning or the engineering from the past is too strong, and it's already almost there. If a baby is really about to come out, you can't just change your mind and say, oh, by the way, no, I don't want a baby. Sorry, it's already there. It's coming tomorrow. Can't just ignore it. It's too late. It's already grown up, and it's coming. Certain babies are really meant to be born like that. So what can we do? We conceive them, we nurture them, and now they're coming. So can only welcome them and say, okay, that's not the one I was expecting. I didn't know I created that baby. And when the baby come with 10 heads and, a scary face, and say, oh, where do you come from? Well, you made me. Hello, you made me. Don't you remember? He says, no. So this is called karma philosophy. And then you wonder, where do you come from? And anything that shows up in the future will say, well, I'm made in the past, by the way. Oh, really? Isn't it? So that past, present, future, we mentioned it already the last 2 weeks, but the structure of time is designed by the law of karma. So karma philosophy looks about, what is the seed, what is the fruit. There's a connection. And what you do in between, how much you water it, how much you nurture it, that's karma. So we can't escape the law of karma. But we can take advantage of it, and we can use it, and we can enjoy it as well. So karma is not a fatality, or it's not a bad thing. Karma is actually, it's like money. Money can be used for really the wrong things, but it can be used for good things. Same with a knife, you can kill someone, or you can cut your tomatoes. So karma is the same. Can be used in a very constructive way. So future offers, potential possibilities. And again, I would suggest that the practice, which is very useful, is to look at what am I going to use for the future, for the making of the future. And the beauty of meditation, or the beauty of spiritual study, is to prepare for the future. If I was to ask you, I'm invited by, who do we respect today? It's hard to find a world leader that you feel. I'm just trying to find one the last second, and I can't find one. Let's say, our Prime Minister. Let's say our Prime Minister is inviting us for dinner tonight. So what will happen if I ask you, can you come? We have 2 hours. In 2 hours, I pick you up at home, and then we go for dinner with the Prime Minister. What will be your main priority? What would you do? Ruba?
To prepare questions, to get ready.
Yeah, get ready. You'll plan for it, isn't it? And if I tell you, hey, in 2 hours we're going bowling, you're not going to get ready the same way. I don't think so. You don't go bowling with your big robe and then your dress and your fancy, hairstyle and all this thing, isn't it? So where am I going will determine what I'm doing in preparation. And if there's not a clear, aim, what am I going to prepare for? Now, if I were to tell you, okay, you have 3 more years to become perfect, and I can see in 3 years your perfect form is coming. I can feel it. I'm inviting you, actually. A special gala, and everyone who reach their perfect form can enter the room. And you'll have special glass shoes to wear.
It's too far to prepare.
It's too far? No, 3 years. 3 years. That's not too far. No, if you want to become a plumber, you might need 3 years to become a plumber. So to become perfect might take a little bit more, actually, than 3 years. But no, we prepare sometimes. Someone who becomes a doctor, he knows this is 7 years. And then maybe 10 years if you do your master's and all the big books you'll write about this and the other. Might be 10 years. So they prepare for it. And they're excited. I mean, year 3, year 4, year 5. So what are we preparing for? What is it that you're seeing in your future that is driving you now to do amazing things? Or is there nothing on the agenda? What's planned for your next 10 years? I have planned. I have big plans for me. I have honestly very, very big plans. And I'm excited about the idea that, I know it's been years I've been working on this cathedral, but it's happening. What's the name again, my teacher? What's the name again of that cathedral is it in Spain? Is it? No, yeah, in Spain. It's been taking, I don't know, so many years to build. The name is yeah, this one, Sangria. I always want to call it Sangria, but I know it shouldn't be called like that. Familia Sangria, something like that. It's the never-ending cathedral, right? Now they're applying for new plots to build the final phase of it. I don't know how many decades later. but it's a massive monument. And the day it's going to be completed, people would say, wow, you worked for what? 67 years to build it? That's a long time. When I interviewed one day a man I really respected and great, wise person, and I asked him, so what's your greatest success in your life? And he said, me. I made me. This is my best achievement. And I thought that was such a brilliant answer. He said, I worked my whole life to make who I am today. I'm very happy about it. And I thought, you're right. This is a great answer. He made who he was. And he was a great character. So what are we creating for the future? Who are we building? Who are we envisioning? And we are told in spirituality, keep an eye on your aim and objective. Design it, redesign it, adjust the design. They're building this bridge, Champlain Bridge, right? It went quite fast actually, but it has to be planned and designed and engineered, readjusted. Some pieces don't fit, they've been produced wrong. Suddenly a few delays, and you want to make sure they tied up the bolts and the screws properly before we go on it. So it's a big
Extra cost.
Yeah, extra cost. So what about us? So the future can be extremely stimulating to the extent that the aim and objective is clear. And when we see exactly what we want to achieve, and there's no time, there's no, lack of time, or there's no reason to say, well, we don't have time. Our founder of this institution started his journey, do you know at what age he was?
65.
Yeah, 60. At the age of 60, he said, okay, I have a thought. I said, Grandpa, what are you doing? He was grandfather, he was, 60. Normally you cool it down and you chill out and you relax and you retire. He started a new dream at the age of 60. And he worked on it until the age of 93. And he reached it. And he saw how he could achieve a state of awareness that was ideal, number one. And he thought, I can do it. And it took 33 years to do it. And I'm thinking I've been trying for 35 years and I don't think I've reached that much. So now there's an urgency that sometimes I'm thinking, just wait, when you're 60 you can do like him. And I said, well, what if I don't reach 60? Maybe I should start now. So there's certain things you don't know what will happen. But you cannot say, well, I'm too old. Oh, well, I should have thought about it in a young age. No, if he started at 60 and changed his life completely from 60 to 93, to me there's tremendous hope. My dad, thought at some point in his life that there was less incentive to keep going, after losing the one that you love. If you lose your wife or you lose someone you love, you may have a little down and you feel, what's the point? And I totally understand that. And suddenly at the age of 75, even older than him, suddenly the good old dad sprang back and says, I'm back, I have a thought. And now he's in Africa right now. He's traveling. He's almost blind. But that doesn't stop him. He goes on a special photographic journey. And he shoots like this. And he catches things that are amazing. And then he spends the whole year on his computer figuring out the jewels that he shot like this by instinct. I thought this is wonderful. And doesn't matter what life brought to him as a test or as a difficulty, losing your sight is very, very tragic. But he bounced back. And he looked way more happy today than anyone that I know with perfect vision and, So, future holds secrets, mysteries, possibilities, dreams. And to me this is the most exciting, because future is still negotiable. I can still make something happen. It just depends on one thing. What's my intention now? What's my awareness now? And I've personally always liked these days when, the days when you wake up in the morning and it's okay, from today on, okay, and this time I'm going to make it right. Determination. Okay, you may fall 1,000,000 times. I mean, I tried to stop smoking. I didn't even count how many times. And when I think about it today, I find it so funny. Everything I did to stop smoking, patches, chewing gum, certain type of food, how do you call it, to be deprived by force, like really the hard way. I expose myself to films that shows you the lungs of a smoker, big screen like this, and you go into, there's a group that was created, and they try to torture you, with those horror movies. This is your lung if you continue. And then they show you people dying of cancer. And came out of that movie theater, the first thing I wanted to do was to smoke, and I thought, oh goodness. I think it didn't work. So I tried so many things to stop smoking. And one day something happened and I did stop. And the joy, the feeling of achievement, when you overcome something so difficult to overcome, well, the joy is proportional. The success, brings that much joy to the extent that you've worked really hard on something. So it's okay to aim for something, make progress, fall, stand up again, run again, fall again. Okay, stand up again, run again, fall again. Okay, keep doing. One day it's going to be fall, stand up again, run, and one day you'll feel, oh, I'm still running. Yay! And then you made it. I mean, I believe that very much. And this is the future. But I have to nurture it. And the power of the determination, the dream, the motivation, the enthusiasm, the will, the artistic vision of it, all this is what we can play with. And this is what spirituality is all about. Mastering time is not about, changing things and becoming a magician in a physical way. Master of time is the one that takes full benefit of time and make time a good friend. So I'm expecting and I'm enjoying the perspective of the future. I'm enjoying every second fully. And I keep such a wonderful memory of the past and such a wonderful experience from the past. If I can reach that state of consciousness, imagine if someone were to ask you anything from the past you regret, you say no. I'm not.
What happened to people who have bad karma?
Those who have bad karma, yeah, but they can transform karma. The karma will come as a law. So whatever comes, the moment I start to accept it, I stop increasing it. You see, let's say somebody did something wrong in the past. As a consequence, they feel pain, they feel sorrow. In front of that sorrow, if they say, oh, poor me, oh, why this happened to me, it should never happen to me, they're increasing the pain. They're just multiplying it. So the fruit of those thoughts is going to be more pain. So it's not their fault, they just don't know. The moment you start to know and have awareness, and we say, yeah, this happened, I hate it, but it happened. So now I'm not going to increase it again. So now I'm just going to accept it. And I'm going to tell my banker, all right, how much again? Okay, fine, here you are, sorry. And then move on, do something else. And it might come quite a few times, because the heaviness of the bills might be bigger than what I anticipate. And what we're being tested with very often is that we understand, so we start paying once, then we pay twice, then we pay 3 times, and then one day comes a time and say, oh, well, that's enough. And that's when we shouldn't break. If we were just to resist one more time, that might be the turning point. But the reason why we're suffering with those payments is because really they are the fruits of what we really created in the past. And my experience is that really the moment I stop resisting, the moment I stop reacting to those pains, they start to go away. The more I keep holding on it and fixing my attention on it and thinking that, the worst karma is to think that because something bad happened, I'm bad. This is what karma wants you to believe. That because something bad happened to you, you say, oh, I must be bad. That's what people say. I must be such a bad person, something happened to me. And we say, no, it has nothing to do. Terrible things happen to very good people. And wonderful things happen to terrible people. So it's not that something good happened and I'm good, or something bad happened and I'm bad. There's nothing to do. We're all good. Every human soul is fundamentally, basically, and generally produced to be good. And then we go through bad things and good things. So we have to settle. Karma, doesn't matter how much bad karma we have. The spiritual approach is I have to settle my karmic account. I have to pay, I have to settle it. And then I have to create new ones that are wonderful. Because as much as karma can say, well, someone has bad karma, yeah, but that much bad karma can be changed into good karma. It's really possible. We've seen it. People with really, really dim light in their life changing into heroes. It happens. It creates beautiful stories. They say in Hinduism they have a story of this person who had 7 disabilities or something like that. He's the most damaged, poor little thing on earth. And he's the one who is going to achieve liberation in life, which is what the sages and the saints and the kings could not even achieve. It's the one with the most disabilities in their story in Hinduism. That little disabled person who reached the stage of liberation. Why? Because he didn't think he was disabled. He didn't say, oh, I'm so bad, oh, I'm so crippled, oh, this has happened. He didn't see his disabilities. That's liberation. So people who are great only brag about their greatness, so they become, slave of their greatness. And those who are damaged and, bruised by life complain about it. So in both cases they don't achieve liberation. It's a consciousness. Karma is power. Karma is what bricks are for a wall. You can't say, oh, too many bricks here. Then just make a bigger wall. And if you have more bricks, then create a cathedral. There's nothing wrong. Don't throw the brick in the face of your neighbor. That's not what the brick is meant for. But we've misused karma. Did the wrong thing. We used money in the wrong way. We used words in the wrong way to hurt people. We used hand for the wrong thing. Then that's not what they're meant for. So future can be really something wonderful. And the beauty of the one who masters time is that it's there's a driving force where we feel that I, the soul, I, the spiritual being, am not constrained by time, but I'm starting to become one who enjoys every aspect of time, really. And I'm saying it because I've been one who has complained so much about not having enough time, running out of time. I know what it is, that feeling. But I've had to make efforts to change my thinking about time and to pay attention to the future and to experiment with what happens if I keep an aim clear and if I work on it. What happens? If you just try for 3 days, just 3 days, to have a special mental diet. Is it possible? You just tell yourself for the next 3 days, I'm going to change my mental diet. No comparing, no competing, and no complaining. Can you do that? It's vitamin C minus. No comparing, no competing, no complaining. Try to catch yourself every time you compare, you compete, you complain. Try that. No vitamin C minus. And we use on...
I have a fourth one.
And which one, the fourth one?
Criticize.
Criticizing, yeah. Here, which is complaining. Criticizing and complaining. But yeah, it's more clear. Criticizing is maybe more concrete. Don't criticize, even more. So no, okay, Christine has changed your prescription a little bit harder. 4 C's to avoid. Compare, compete, complain, criticize. And the method is the vitamin C plus. Connect, collect, correct. So these are the C plus. You first connect. Whatever happens, plug yourself, connect, talk to God. Say, hello, I'm here. What's the plan? What are we doing? Connect with the real self. Connect with other people as a soul. Connect with nature. Connection, the right connection. And when the connection is there, then we start to collect. We start to feel power, peace, love, happiness. We're collecting. We're, oh yeah, more. Please keep going. You collect, and then we can correct. We can change. So you have to find a 4th C, Christine. You have about 5 minutes. Because we can't remove 4 C's and have only 3 C's to replace them. Care? Cleaning. Clean. Okay, clean is a good one. Is that okay, Christine? She stole it from you, right? So cleaning. Yeah, that's a good one. Connect, collect, correct, and clean it. Finished. I enjoy that. Thank you. See, you improved my file. My vitamin C department just got boosted tonight from 3 to 4, so it's good. So really, my experience is that when I pay attention a little bit more to something, it's magical. The next morning, when you wake up, it's different. You feel your awareness is, clearer, cleaner. Meditation is better. Go to work a bit more excited and go, okay, today I'm working on that special thought. Connection with others. Everything changes. It's just like trying to do that, to say for 3 days, or even if it's too long, at least 24 hours, to say, I really want to pray, to pay attention, to see what happened. And the moment we give the self an objective, just see what happens. Change naturally happen. If anyone can come next week, and I don't know if we're meeting next Friday, but next time you come, tell me that you paid attention for 24 hours, seriously, and nothing happened. And I'll reimburse you. Whatever you paid for. It's not going to be possible. My experience is that I'm going down in my stage, in my awareness, when I'm stopping to make efforts. And I become lazy and careless and sloppy, and then, okay, let's say easy yoga, but then the wrong one. It becomes lazy yoga. And the moment I say, no, Eric, pay attention, it goes up. And I know it. Everything changes. My way of eating, my way of sleeping, my way of waking up, my way of meditating, the speed of how fast I walk when I'm at work. People tell me at work, oh, today you look really special. And I know it's here. I dress the same for many years. I keep my same clothes for a long time. They look different depending on what's happening here. So future is extremely rich. It's unlimited. It's like if I were to tell you, well, 649 is not about buying a ticket. It's not about lottery. 649, the million is waiting for you. You have to claim it. Not buy a ticket and hope it comes. We have to claim it. We have to go and get it. It's there. We just have to go and get it. And it's called vision. It's called aim, objective, determination, hope, dreams, enthusiasm, method, understanding. These are the ingredients we use for it. And all these ingredients, when they are used for the future, the present changes as well. Because we engage into something so wonderful. You can't enjoy the present moment if it's not driven by something that has meaning. And the driving force with meaning is one that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And right now we're always in the middle. But there's the objective. And for me, life is making sense when I know where I'm going. If you ask someone, why are you on earth? Where are you going? What are you doing here? And they say, well, I don't know. Are you just waiting for your retirement day and collecting your pension plan? Is that? Or are we waiting for, what are we waiting for? And I think people are missing dreams. Bigger than just building a house or extending the house or building a garage or getting a new house or a new car or a new dog or something. There's more than that. And I think the state of higher self, exploring all the potential of the self, is a much more, worthy aim to have. If you were to say, okay, in 3 years from now, maybe you can try 2, or why not even 1? You can try 1. But in the near future, you want to see yourself free from any worries. And you want to think you're going to be such a special person. Everybody would say, I never see her worrying. Someone told me, who don't see me too often, by the way, so that was a good, easy compliment, but someone told me, I never saw you not in a good mood. And I thought, it's true, you only see me when I go and get coffee from you, so I'm always in a good mood. But I thought, it's on the making. We are having our seniors, the head of the organization is 103 years old. And when I met those ladies 35 years ago, they used to tell me about the Brahma, the founder of the organization. And the way they spoke about him, I thought, these ladies were in love with him. I think that's the only explanation. They must have had a kick on him, even though he was 60. And that's why they are a little bit fantasizing a little bit about how wonderful he was. Because it was a bit extreme, he was always like that. And I said, nobody's always like that. You have your good days and your bad days, like everybody else. He must have been yawning like everybody else and scratching his head, I'm sure. But they used to tell us like really incredible thing, and he used to be always like that. And he'll come in the room and I'll see light. I say, yeah, sure. What were you, I always wonder what they put in those incense sticks in India. I always question, what are you really sniffing here? Must be something a little bit illegal, I think. And then, years pass. And today, if you were to ask me, who is this lady, Daddy Janki, I would tell you, when she comes in a room, there's light that comes. She's always incredibly high. And he would say, Eric, come on. And I say, it's real. We're seeing it. And I know a lady, she's in New York, and I've been watching her really for 35 years. Yes, 35 years ago, I could really spot little defects, and I was happy I saw her weakness. Good, I can keep myself weak, she's still weak on that particular aspect. And today, oops, that weakness has gone. Mine is still there. Oh, that little imperfection, I think she worked on it. It's not there anymore. And I've seen these people changing really, really big time. And I was with her last weekend in Toronto. And to be honest with you, I was so impressed with thinking, wow, she's so light. Everything is so right. And the energy, everything. And I thought, Eric, speed up a little bit, catch up with these people. You have to intensify your efforts because it's possible. And I really feel that we have to design, and I'll finish on that, but I think we have to design our perfect self. What do we want to see? And we can all just pick one specialty, 1 or 2 specialties. Do you want people to always say at the end, in a few months or few years, I think that person, talking about you, such a peaceful person. Or do you want or do you want to be known more as such a loving woman or such a loving man? It was So always spreading love. What do you want to be specialized in? Courage, love, peace. Pick it. It's available, free, same price. Just each one has to pick whatever they want to to become. It's available. No restriction. Joyful, hopeful, entertaining, light. My question to me when I was designing my perfect self, I was thinking, okay, humor, how much space do I give? Because if I don't pay attention, it might take 90%. So, no, I just don't want to be a perfect clown, because that's not my perfect self. I thought, okay, I have to negotiate here. How much space do I give you, humor? Because you want more than I think. Or maybe not, I don't know. So, you can design your future with as much, and, how much sugar do you put in your coffee? That's up to you. How much cream, how much icing on the cake? Up to each one of us. Okay, hallelujah. Are you any hopeful about your future now? A bit more? Did I manage to? When you're smiling a bit more than an hour ago, you look very serious now. At least everyone is smiling a little bit. So, okay. Did we pump everybody up a little bit for at least another week? I think we should be really thrilled and excited about the future, because it's just in our hands. And it's wonderful that no one can say, well, it's not in my fortune. No, it's right there. Until it's the present, it's up to me. So, okay, I'll stop talking now. I can try. Should we meditate a few minutes before I let you go? I still feel you can smile a bit more, so I'll try something. So going into the silence of the mind and the beauty of the inner being, it becomes very easy to visualize. And what I see in front of me at the moment is a magnificent ocean of blue, calm, and fresh water. And I imagine myself to be on a beautiful beach with white sand, fresh air, grass and trees behind me. But in front of me there's only the unlimited ocean. And what really pulls my attention is the horizon. How straight, infinite is the horizon. Just a line between the sky and the ocean. Just a very thin line. But I know anything can come from the horizon. And I'm drawn to the beauty of the infinite possibilities. The ocean being so vast, so big, so unlimited. Fresh, blue, clean, inviting water. And such a blue, beautiful sky. And in between, just a line. And I know this is the line of my future, where the ocean embraces the sky. And I want to invoke greatness to come, beauty to come, wonders to come. as if I was on an island waiting for someone to arrive, as if a boat was to arrive in the horizon. I know I can bring greatness and beauty just by invoking it. What do I want? From that very intangible thin line, everything can emerge. Magic creatures from the ocean, angels from the sky. But I know that hidden in that line of horizon, my perfect self waits for me. If I look at the horizon, I want to invoke my perfect self, the part of me restored in dignity, as if everything was there, but just needs to be restored, healed. And my inner peace could be as vast and big as the ocean. The love within can be as big as the sky. So this line, the horizon, is my line of fortune. I am the future, and the future is me, and I embrace it. I welcome it. And I want to feel that deep within myself there will always be an ocean and a sky, and they will always meet and trace the line of my fortune. Thank you. Just on time before they start creating our future here. See, we can think that this construction is such a terrible thing, or we can say it's such a wonderful thing. We'll have nice brand new sidewalks, and maybe they will pave it with gold. I don't know, just for you. I'll talk to the mayor of them. I don't know. All right, and what's next? Are we not coming again next Friday? Or do you know if there is anything happening in the next little while, Christine, on Fridays? Or check your emails, because the intention is we had on a regular basis Easy Friday every Friday night before in English, and kind of fell asleep somehow, and so now we're in a process of reawakening. And the thought was that instead of doing every Friday, we'll do a special series like this. So you have a few Fridays to practice, And then bring your perfect self and show us what you did for a few weeks in the next session. So we'll plan something else again, and there will be more. So check your emails and make sure you're on our mailing list. And you might get a strange email about joining a group. We have to redesign our system because now with all this privacy thing and it's getting spam and we respect that. We have to connect with people properly with emails, so it's not harassing anyone. So we have to create a new system in Gmail now. So you might get an email saying you've joined a group, and so that's normal. So we'll be in touch, as we say. We'll find you. Wherever you are, I'll find you.